Who really rules the fades? Today, we're diving deep into the world of Florida's Barbers Board, the hidden in plain sight group that calls the shots for every trim and buzz cut in the state. I mean, have you ever really thought about it? You're sitting there in the chair, trusting someone with clippers and scissors right next to your head, but who's making sure they're actually legit? Well, it turns out there's a whole system behind your barber. And it's there for a really good reason. Because let's be real, the last thing anyone wants is a messed up haircut or, way worse, some nasty infection from dirty tools. And this is them. Meet the Barbers Board. Think of them as the official referees of the haircut game. Florida law created this group for one big reason: to make sure the entire barbering world is safe, clean, and professional for all of us. So how do you even build a team like this? It's kind of like putting together a superhero squad, but, for barbering. Let's break down who gets to be on this all-important board. The magic number is 7. That's it. The board has 7 members. And they aren't just random people. Each and every one of them is handpicked by the governor and then has to be officially confirmed by the Florida Senate. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal. And the team's lineup is super interesting. Check this out. 5 of the members have to be actual barbers. They're the industry pros. But the other 2 spots? They're reserved for regular folks like you and me, people who aren't barbers. And this balance is what's so crucial. The 5 barber veterans need to have at least 5 years of experience cutting hair in Florida. They bring all the hands-on knowledge, but the 2 civilian lookouts are there to represent us, the customers, making sure the rules are fair for everyone, not just for the barbershops. Okay, so we know who gets on the team, but just as important is who gets kept off the team. The law is really specific about this, and it's all about avoiding conflicts of interest. Here's the ban list. Basically, if your business is making, renting, or selling barber equipment and supplies, you can't be on the board. And that makes total sense, right? It stops someone from pushing for a rule that would just happen to make every barbershop buy their brand of clippers or chairs. It keeps the game fair. Now, once you're on the team, you can't just stay there forever. There's a whole set of rules for how long each member gets to serve.
Each appointment is for a 4-year term. That gives a member enough time to actually get things done and make an impact, but it's not a lifetime gig.
And speaking of not staying forever, there are term limits. You can serve your first 4-year term, and you can even be reappointed for a second one. But after that, 8 years total, you're done. This is awesome because it means new people with fresh ideas are always cycling onto the board. And what if somebody leaves early, like they move away or just decide to step down? Well, the governor doesn't just leave that seat empty. They appoint a new person to fill in for the rest of that term. The team always stays at full strength. So you might be wondering, what's in it for them? I mean, is this a high-paying job with a corner office? Let's take a look at the perks and pay. The short answer is nope. This is all about public service. Board members don't get a salary. What they do get is paid back for their travel costs. Gas money, maybe a hotel, when they have to go to the official board meetings. Okay, this brings us to maybe the most important part of this whole setup: accountability. What happens if a board member messes up or just doesn't do their job? Who keeps them in check? The law itself puts it right out there in black and white. Every single member of this board answers directly to the governor. The buck stops at the very top of the state government. Which leads to the big question, right? So what? What actually happens if someone drops the ball? Because accountability without consequences is just talk. Well, the law is super clear on this too. The governor can remove any member for a bunch of reasons. We're talking serious stuff, like breaking the law, but also just being bad at the job, not showing up, or being incompetent. There's a whole list. And here's how it works. If people start complaining about the board or one of its members, the governor's office can launch an investigation. And if they find out the complaints are legit, they have the full power to kick that person off the board. It's all about protecting us, the public. So next time you're sitting in that chair, getting a fresh cut, just think about it for a second. You're trusting your barber, for sure, but you're also trusting this whole 7-person system that's working behind the scenes to keep you safe. Kinda makes you think, doesn't it?